Vanity Mirror. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup look straight from the red carpet at the Emmys. I was looking through and really wanted to recreate something, and I have things to do today, so it had to be something not totally out of this world, and I stumbled upon Sarah Hyland. Her look that she had was just kind of this like peachy with a slight bit of red to it. Very neutral, really pretty, really just natural looking at the same time, and I really liked her look, and I thought that that would be a fun look to recreate here on my channel for you guys. So if you want to know how I'm gonna create that look, keep on watching. Okie dokie then. Today I'm going to start with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I have a lot of mattifying primers because I have oily skin, so I usually use a matte primer. But today I'm going to use this one because it's not quite as mattifying. It's a little bit more of a, I don't know how to explain it. It's just not as mattifying. So I'm going to use that today because, and the reason I'm doing that is because Sarah Hyland's skin that day was not matte. It was not like super wet looking. It had this kind of dewy look to it, and I really liked how her skin looked. So I've been having some acne issues lately, so that is what's happening here on my face, and it kind of hurts. I cannot get my skin routine together. It's frustrating. I just can't seem to get it right. I'm trying so many different things, and I'm getting to this place where I'm wondering if my skin is like picky. Like I wonder if it needs expensive products. That's one thing I've never done, is try really expensive skincare. So I wonder, because none of the other stuff seems to work for me. But anyways, moving on, I'm gonna use the color correctors because I've been having acne issues lately. Today I'm going to be using this Maybelline Matte and Poreless. It is a matte foundation, but I don't have a foundation that's not matte, that isn't way too dark for me, and today I feel like making sure it matches my skin. I actually need to go get some new foundation, and I was thinking of going out and getting the Milani one that's like the concealer and a foundation, and I also want to get another high-end foundation. I've been using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD, and it is really, really good. Definitely. I just ran out. I've had it for about a year, and I just ran out, and I loved it. So it's going to be really hard for me to try something new, but since I'm doing YouTube now, I really wanted to be doing new stuff. So tell me in the comments below what would be a really good high-end foundation for me, especially being a little acne prone and oily skinned. So please leave in the comments down below what you think would be a good fit for me. I'm gonna blend that in using my beauty blender. This foundation is actually a little too dark for me too, because I am terrible at picking foundations, but I just blend it really far down the neck to blend it well. I really want to balance out how dark this looks. I mean, it does look fine. I blended it well down my neck, but this Tarte Shape Tape concealer that I bought is way, way, way too light for me. So I'm going to use this HD Photogenic concealer that I feel like isn't light enough for what I want to, how much I want to balance this out. So I'm going to mix these two concealers under my eye to do my concealing and lighten up my face. Oh my gosh, it feels like it took me 10 minutes to tell you about that. The triangles under my eyes always look so awful compared to other makeup people, and I feel like it's because I don't use as much. But when I use too much, I just don't like how it looks on my skin personally, so I just use I don't use very much concealer. See how that like kind of lightened up this side a little bit? Okay, so now we are going to set the face and the under eyes. I don't want this to be a heavy look because her look just looks so natural that she has. I'm looking at a picture of her over there. And I just don't want to make this too heavy because her look is so natural. So I'm going to start by setting the under eye, and I'm going to use this blurring concealer brush from Pure, and I'm just going to set the under eyes with that. And I'm just going to use, oh, by the way, I am using the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil powder to set the face. If you don't have this, I would recommend a really light setting powder. You don't want anything heavy, anything that's going to add any kind of coverage. Like, for example, the Coty Airspun powder adds coverage. So you don't want to use anything like that because this is supposed to be a really light look. And that's what I feel like this powder is. So that's why I like to use this on looks where I don't want to go too overboard or look too incredibly powdery. So I'm just swirling that all over my face now that I've concentrated on the under eyes. Even now, I feel like I look a little more powdery than I'd like to, but we will take care of that with setting spray in a bit. But we're going to move on to bronzer. So she does definitely have a bronzed look, but not really contoured. So we're just going to bronze up the skin, and we're not going to really focus on contouring. This is just such a more simple look and not so glam. It's more sophisticated, simple than this glam. So we're gonna, she has a lot of bronzer like in here. And by the way, I'm using the Pacifica bronzer in Sunkissed. This is like my favorite bronzer for my skin tone. It's dark enough so I can see it, and I think it blends really well. And this brush I'm using is from Sephora, and it is just their bronzer brush, and I feel like I feel like it blows it out really nicely. I like this brush anyways, just because of the big, huge, fluffy, but it's also dense. I don't think I finished what I was saying earlier. I'm so spacey. So I have like Bahama Mama, because I got it in Ipsy, and a Ciate London bronzer. But they blend really nicely. They're really pretty. I don't like them because because they both almost match my skin tone perfectly. You can barely even tell I've done anything to bronze up the skin when I wear those, so I don't really like them. I am gonna bake a little bit because I feel like I got a little too much in the lower region of my face, but I'm liking how it looks other than that. When this is getting posted, which is Saturday, the 23rd of 2017, I will be on my first wedding anniversary trip. So I'm really excited about that. I'm using the same powder to bake, by the way. But the trip is nothing extreme. It's just going to relax at a hotel with my husband, hanging out, getting room service. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, so if you've noticed that I haven't been very active on social media lately, like my Instagram and stuff, that's why, and I apologize, but I will be back, I promise. So I'm gonna let that bake, and I'm gonna move on. She doesn't have very much blush going on. If she does, it's very subtle. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and make my blush very subtle. I like to use this Luxie brush here. It's a Luxie blush brush for more subtle blush. It definitely does a good job of giving you a more subtle flush to the cheeks. And oh, I'm doing so good. I'm so good at telling you guys things. This is the Pacifica Coconut Blush Duo that we got in BoxyCharm in August. And I love it. I'm finding myself using products from that BoxyCharm all the time. So as for highlight, she definitely has a highlight on. It is nothing that's too intense or blinding. So I'm thinking the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in Be My Highlight is a nice subtle highlighter that still gives a nice pretty glow. And I think that will be perfect to go with what she has going on her face. I'm just gonna swirl this around, tap off the excess, and pop it on right there. But she's also very glowy, so I am gonna put some on my forehead, down the nose. Okay, so that is basically it for the face makeup. I'm actually gonna let that keep baking so it can really clean up the bronzer that I overdid a little bit. And we're gonna go on to the eyes. So it's kind of hard to tell in all the pictures exactly what her eyes look like, but I know there's some peachy hint of kind of a red look to it. My bake is wiped away because I had to take, there's been time since I last said that I was going to start my eyes. I'm going to go into the Morphe 35 OM with a touch of something something from the shimmer palette as well. If you don't have these palettes, they are so versatile. You can probably find these mattes in a lot of other palettes, but Morphe's just so good. So shake your hand on these. You can get these 2 palettes for like $40, $45, something like that, but 2 palettes with a ton of shadows. Anyways, I'm going to set my eyes using a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into this color right here. It is like a really good color for my skin tone, and I'm going to set my eyes with it. And this will allow you to blend easier. Her look is really like a peachy orange. I'm going to start with this color right here, which is like kind of like a medium skin tone type color, and I am going to take this bigger crease brush because I'm going to blow that out in the crease from, this is from Sephora, and I'm just going to take that really high in the crease, and I'm going to do just a little bit of this to start defining the crease. A little bit of a base down. I'm going to mix this color here and this color here. I'm going to mix those 2 colors to get kind of the orange color that she has going on, and I'm going to take a crease brush like this. It's going to come up pretty high, and we're going to bring it down. So I'm just going to like dab a couple times in each and tap off and go to town. So the lighter color here that I'm using kind of reminds me of macaroni and cheese. Like that's exactly the color. It reminds me of like the macaroni and cheese crayon, if you know what I'm talking about. And then the other one is this orange, very like purely just orange. It's orange. And I'm going to take that down a little bit on the lid. So I want to use just a little bit of shimmer. So I'm going to go into the Morphe 35 OS palette. If you want to just bring this down onto the lid, honestly, that's kind of what hers looks like she might have done. It's just hard to tell. So I am trying to get this open. I'm going to go into this color right here in the 35 OS palette on my index finger. And I'm just going to apply that right here on the lid, especially the part that's exposed when you open your eyes like that. Just concentrate it right here, especially if you have eyes like mine, where you open it and you can barely see anything, which is a hooded eye, and just start to like blend it up on the rest of the lid, but mainly focus applying it there. And I'm going to go back into the 35OM palette for the rest of this look because she doesn't have a super blinding inner corner highlight or anything like that, and she does have a little bit of a brown going on in the lower lash line. If you have these palettes, you'll notice that the mattes are kind of like the counterparts to the shimmers, but they're like almost the same color. So I'm going to go with that lid color that we used for the lower lash line, and so that would be this one right here. And I'm going to smudge that onto the lower lash line. Don't bring it all the way in. She has kind of a bare inner corner, so make sure to just keep it focused on the outer third and then just smudge it slightly to the center, and that looks a lot like her eye look there. I'm going to take the lightest color in the palette to both highlight my inner corners and my brow bone. She doesn't have a very blinding inner corner, so you don't want to do anything like really shimmery. Just kind of pop this into the inner corner, and then we're going to use that same color to highlight the brow bone. You'll notice this is a very orange look, but that's kind of what her eyes look like. If you saw the picture that I showed you, her eyes look orange. But for a medium skin tone, it looks really good, especially that looks really good with green eyes. I have brown eyes, but it looks really good with green eyes. And I think for me, it makes my brown eyes, it brings some of the orange out in my brown eyes, which I think looks really nice. So I really like this eyeshadow look, and it's relatively natural enough to where you can get away with wearing it out, I think. So she doesn't look like she has lashes on. It looks like she just has a really good mascara on. So I'm actually not going to do lashes today. I'm going to use the Lash Paradise because that's what's in front of me. And it is good. So I'm going to use Lash Paradise to do my eyelashes. What did I just drop? My beauty blender. Okay, and it doesn't really look like she has any mascara on the lower lash line, so I'm going to leave that be. And I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just filled in my brows the way I do because I'm not going to just try to recreate her brows. You can if you want. She's got a little thicker than I do in the front, and they're definitely just curved pretty normally. I think they're beautiful. So if you wanted to try to recreate that, you could. I just filled mine in the way I usually do. And 2 more steps, we're almost done. I'm going to use the Too Faced lipstick in Sex on the Peach. I just think it looks really similar to the lip color she has on. It's kind of insane. So this is what's going on my lips today. Yeah, it's weird. It's really similar. Okay, so to end this look, I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And I'm going to drench myself. Okay guys, this is the finished look. This look is inspired by Sarah Hyland's look that she wore to the Emmys. I don't have that gorgeous, beautiful dress she was wearing, but I'm wearing like a peach shirt, which kind of matches. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you recreate the look, please tag me on Instagram at VarietyEllie or Twitter at VarietyEllie. And also please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe by hitting the tempting red button right below my video, and I will see you later. Today I'm going to be doing an Emmy look straight. No.